Hello, I'm Min Kobayashi, and today I'm going to be doing a Worth the Hype segment on here. This is inspired by a series that Super Pow does on her channel. She does a bunch of popular books and talks about whether they're worth the hype, and I thought I would contribute on this one. So I just finished Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm probably butchering her name, I'm sorry. This is a very interesting book. It has been hyped since the moment I'm pretty sure it has been released. I'm pretty sure it has the biggest pre-pavement out of any YA book in the history, and it already has a movie deal, so this book is big. I was really psyched from the moment I heard of it because I love Afrofuturism. I love anything that is inspired by non-Western origins because I just think that it's not represented enough, especially in YA. I also heard some little birds tell me that it was partly inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that made my little Avatar heart go very, very fast. So I had a lot of expectations going into it. I was not disappointed. Was I blown out of the water and thought it was the most amazing thing that had ever happened to the planet? No. I thought it was really decent. I definitely think that it started out as Avatar fanfiction. Like, maybe not quite Avatar fanfiction, but like pretty close. We have the romance between Inan and Zelly. Pretty sure it's pronounced with an accent that I just don't understand. I'm gonna blame this on dyslexia and not mispronunciation. Their romance is pretty much as Zuko and Katara as you can get. If you're not aware of the Avatar universe, which what are you doing with your life? In Avatar we have Katara and Zuko. They are from rival tribes, and Zuko is a prince who was banished for trying to help soldiers not be killed in the front of the war. He is given the task of hunting down one boy, Aang, who is the Avatar. That is a very heavy task, and he's not ever expected to be able to do it, but he's given this task and he goes on this hunt. Meanwhile, Aang's companion Katara is this super awesome. She is the flirtation partner of Zuko. There is like many hints that they like each other and that there's a lot of romantic tension, and everyone ships them. But this is like fan fiction for that couple. He is a troubled prince. He has these convictions because his father is sending him to be dutiful, but he wants to follow his heart, which is leading in a different direction, but he feels like these people are too powerful. It's a lot more nuanced than just being fan fiction, but there's elements, and there's places where he decides things or other things come up and I'm like, I saw that turn because I watched Avatar and I know which like storyline she's pulling from. We have the brother and sister relationship between Zayn and Zelly, and that is very reminiscent of Sokka and Katara, except for Zayn is not humorous at all, so he's clearly not Sokka, but their relationship is similar, and the fact that both Zelly's and Katara's mothers are killed and they respond very strongly to it. It is something that they think about constantly, because in both ways their mother was kind of killed because of them. Not directly as much for Zelly, because she is the one that was chosen when her sibling was not. That is very interesting because we have the one person who is the girl and the magician person, and then we have the person who is the non-bender and just it has to protect and keeps things inside, and it in both cases are revealed later on that they are very affected by their mother's death. However, they don't feel like they can show it because they have to be protective. We have the one sibling that is sent to hunt down the other sibling. In the case of Avatar, later on in the series, his sister Azula is sent to track down Zuko. When we see the relationship between Amari and Inan, that is very similar. That made me like, oh yeah, he's the Azula and she's the Zuko. You can definitely tell that Avatar was an inspiration for this. The question at the end of the day is, should things be original? Does that mean that they're better books because they're original? I would argue that nothing is going to be super original. Whether anything was ever really original is up to debate. However, we didn't know about everything because the world wasn't globalized at the time. Tomi does a great job of making a world that is very rich in African lore and very, very beautiful, very complex, with beautiful storylines dealing with racism and prejudice and discrimination as a whole, and I thought that was really powerful and definitely unique in the way that she did it, and making the people that have power are darker and stand out more, which often we don't see people of color as the powerful people in stories, so that was very inspiring. Also, how to have a women-centric story was lovely. I think that the powers were really cool. I wish Zelly's power had been explored more. There was more focus on Eden's power, which I didn't like as much because she's supposed to be the protagonist. I think that the relationships were fairly solid, that there could have been more relationship development between Zelly and Amari as they're supposed to be the primary focus, and we didn't see a lot of that. Question is, does it need to be original to be good? No, I don't think so. As someone who loves Avatar and have watched it through more times than I can count, I can see those things. I can tell you all the things that are similar. Would someone who had watched it once or never watched it being like, oh, this is really cool and original? Probably would, and I don't think that's an issue. As long as you make your story your own, then I think you are definitely a valid story. You're not ripping off something else, and I think that she does a brilliant job of doing this. I'm really proud to say that this woman is such a great writer at her age, and that she's standing up not only for women and for Lun people writing, but also for Black culture and for representing her people. And I am looking forward to reading more of her books. And is it the most brilliant book in the world? No, but that's okay. And I would definitely say it is worth reading, and then you can decide. Thank you for listening to me. If you would like to subscribe, comment, or do anything else, feel free. I love to hear your thoughts, and have a great day.
There's nothing like summer in the city. Someone under stress meets someone looking pretty.